Hi guys, welcome back to another GGF video. Today we're going to be taking a quick look at the brand new Thermaltake Core P3. Now we've got our build here. We've already done a full custom build in this case. We've had it for a few weeks, so instead of jumping straight in after receiving the case and doing our review, our thoughts on it, we wanted to gain some experiences on doing a custom loop build and an all-in-one build. Now a lot of people are going to do both. They're going to be doing a full custom loop and they're going to do an all-in-one loop. So we sort of had a bit of a play around with both. So we've got a custom loop here, and we'll also talk about how we went with an all-in-one loop as well. Now, the main reason for Thermaltake for bringing this P3 out, hence the name P3, it is smaller than the P5. It is quite a bit smaller. So if you have a look, both the height and sort of the length of the case is smaller. I'm really liking this smaller sort of form factor because you're not really sacrificing any components inside that much. It's not like you have to put in a smaller motherboard, a smaller video card. You can still fit in a full-length video card. You can still fit in an ATX motherboard. So where Thermaltake have really gained a lot of space by making it shorter is instead of the reservoir going in between the motherboard and your radiator, they've now done it to go in front of the radiator, as you can see there. So you're not really losing anything at all. You can still fit in a nice big reservoir. The only area they've compromised is the radiator support. So now you can fit up to a 420 max. A lot of people think it can only do a 360. I got a 360 in here now, but it can do up to a 420. So if you're doing 140 millimeter fan variants or 120 millimeter fan variants, it can do either of those up to 420. I think the P5 could do, I've done a 480 in my P5, it might have been able to do a 560, I'm not sure, but you could actually fit a much larger radiator in the P5. But a lot of people aren't going to do that because most people are only going to use one video card like I've done now, and you've got your one CPU. So a nice thick 360 is going to be perfect for this. If you're throwing in two video cards, doing some overclocking, you're going to go overclocking your CPU and your video card, you've got room to put in a 420 if needed. So this is my system here. I did do the all-in-one system, as I said earlier. Now the main reason was to make this smaller was for your all-in-one cooler, for the tubes to reach a little bit better for your CPU. Now a lot of people had some complaints that the tubes, once you installed your all-in-one cooler, the distance between here to travel from here over here to your CPU was really stretching your tubes, and Thermaltake was releasing some brackets to move the radiator over and whatnot. But I think in the end Thermaltake were like, no, we'll just bring out a better version suited for that. Now bear in mind, this, as I said, this isn't just for an all-in-one, it's still a great little system for a custom loop, which I've done here. Now I had no issues setting this up. You got plenty of adjustments for your radiator up here. It can go up and down. You can even move it a little bit over, a little bit more to the right if you want to as well. Now with the P5, if you're familiar with that, the P3 is the same. With the way you install your video cards, you can have them like this via the included ribbon cable. Now it does come with one ribbon cable. If you do want to use two GPUs this way, you will need to order another PCI extension ribbon cable. But if you want to install your video cards normally, where they sit horizontal, you just rotate this bracket around, you get rid of this here, and your video cards will just slot in normally. So you can use as much as the board will take doing it that way, or as many as we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think we've got 7 or 8 slots there, so that's enough there. Now bear in mind, if you are running a M-ATX or an M-ITX board, you can actually rotate the power supply 90 degrees, so it goes up this way, so you can have the fan facing out. But if you are running an ATX board like I've got now, you've got to have the PSU sort of sitting flat, so it's actually a little bit lower, so you can fit a longer motherboard in. All right, now moving on to some of the other specs. I pretty much covered quite a lot there. Yeah, it does say it has 8 expansion slots. Moving on to the support for hard drives. Now, this isn't going to be like a server or anything like that. It's more of a bit of a showcase system. It can be used as a test bench. It can be mounted on your wall. That's another thing going with these cases. But for hard drive support, you've got room for 3 SSDs behind the radiator. They can slot in there. It's probably recommended to use the other spot first because you don't want to really be covering up all on the back there. There is plenty of room behind it, but it's probably best to use the other 2 slots behind the motherboard tray. Now those caddies will take either one hard drive, 3.5-inch hard drive, or 1 SSD for those, and then you got the 3 behind there. No CD-ROM bay, of course. Those things are pretty much not going to be used these days. Now looking at the sort of the front area here, you've got your power button, you've got your 2 USB 3 your two USB 2.0. They could probably get rid of 2.0 these days. You've got your power button up the top, which I just said. You've got your reset button, and then you got your microphone and your headphone jack, and you've got your nice little power and hard drive LEDs next to each other. Now, as I mentioned earlier, these are wall mountable. If you haven't seen my P5 review, I go into a bit of detail on mounting that onto an LCD bracket. I'm not going to do it this time. It's the same concept. You've got your backplate here, or this is actually your side panel, which just slides off, and they just got holes that go into the main frame of the case. Now, this is a massive steel frame behind here that you're screwing your LCD bracket on, so it's just not the side panel that's hanging off, it's actually the main frame that's getting supported, which is good. Now, you got standard VESA mounting here if you've got an LCD bracket, but I would recommend using an LCD bracket that's designed for larger TVs. So the ones that just slot up this way, then you can drop it on. I tried mounting the P5 with, I think it was a 30 kilo monitor arm, although it was rated to 30 kilos. It's not the case's fault. The case was under 30 kilos, but the monitor arms that are rated up to that, it was just starting to bend and sort of bow a bit. So I do recommend using a sort of a TV bracket similar to the one that the TV is hanging on the wall there, and that does work well with that. Now, another way you can mount this case is like I've got it now. You can stick on the installed feet. They're really nice. They don't move. 4 screws on each one. I do like that. But if you are mounting it on the wall, you do take off the feet because you will be hitting the wall first before it goes up against it. And now the last way you can mount this case is sitting flat on a table. So once again, you take the feet off again because the feet will get in the way. So you install these 4 huge rubber sort of feet. They have a screw in each one. Lie it down flat, and then you can use it as a test bench or something like that. So I have tested all 3. It is sort of a great way to sort of utilize the case in these different ways. I actually have my P5 set up permanently actually on the wall as a media center. I just sort of threw it up high in the wall, stuck it there, projector comes down near it, and it works really well that way. Right now, talking about some of the water cooling features I mentioned before, all-in-one support has been fixed up by this, getting rid of the huge area in the middle for the reservoir, making it more compact that way. You can now fit the all-in-one cooler with the tubes, no worries at all. Other areas is you've got this nice little bracket down the bottom here, which I do like. Now, this is a universal bracket. It's got slots. It'll accommodate most types of pumps and pump brackets. I've tried a few and they all seem to fit. I've got the standard, not a standard one, but this is one from Thermaltake that they released with their silencer kit on there, and that just went on straight away. And this is just one of the options I mounted it. You can mount it quite a few ways, so that is a nice little feature there. I might just turn this on and see what it, I have installed some RGB ring fans up there. People might be wondering, one's over here, people might be wondering about dust and things like that. I guess with most systems, if you have a closed case system, you are still going to get dust. It's just going to suck it in and it's going to just sort of blow inside. Whereas dust on here is you're not going to get specific dust in certain areas. Like a standard case, you'll get dust around the intake fans and whatnot. This you'll just get general dust along the top. But I guess if you look after your PC, if you're an enthusiast, you're going to be maintaining your PC. You're not just going to build this, just stick it somewhere and not sort of use it for a few years or clean it. So I'll turn this on. So this is the little system here. So I've gone with the full Thermaltake, all their water cooling. We've got their compression fittings, the hard tube compression fittings, all their angles, and then we just did some simple bends to make this look good. Now, we did do another build on this earlier with the whole yellow theme, but I did use that build for something else. You've probably seen that on Facebook. So this is a quick build I did using all the same bends and fittings just to get this one up and going. And that turned off for some reason. I did install some more RAM before, so that's probably it. Now, you're probably wondering about price for this case. This is available on PC Case Gear now for $169. So to me, I think that's a good price, especially for something that's so unique like this. You have to remember a lot of other brands, or a few other brands that release wall mountable cases, have been upwards of $500–600 for something like that. Now, to get this for under 200 bucks is quite a good deal, I think. Now, one thing to watch out for, because the side panel sticks out quite so far like this, is not like a traditional case where it's built into the side panel, it's not so large. This will scratch quite easily. I've been using this sort of around our sort of lab here. I'm going to turn that off because it's not liking that memory probably. It does get knocked quite easily, and it does scratch. Now this is just acrylic. I'd probably say that's about 3 or 4 millimeters. It will scratch, so just bear in mind it's not going to be as tough as tempered glass side panels or some other side panels on other cases, because it just sticks out so far. I will say I do have a few little scratches there, one here, but I think the good thing about this being just one square sheet, if you've taken this around the block a bit, it's getting beaten up, you can just take this somewhere that does acrylic. Probably Bunnings can do it for you, make a new one for you, and it'll probably cost you like 20-30 bucks and it's done. It also gives you options to play around with etching and stuff. You can take this to a place that does etching and they can put some nice logos on there, being acrylic and just being one whole piece, because this simply just goes on. I'll take this off now. These nice, really big sort of end sort of bolts. I do like how they're the same thickness and same width as the actual bars, and it just looks like one whole piece. It looks like the side panel is just sandwiched in the middle, which is really nice. So that's it there, as you can see, nice and strong. But yeah, just bear in mind with that, and that's the system off like that. If you're wondering what these random SATA cables are here, I did have some SSDs down the bottom here. I had 4 down here. I do like to showcase my SSDs off, so there are other areas to stick your hard drives. So down there is a nice little spot to stick 4, and I just sort of velcroed them on as well, which is nice. That's pretty much it for this review. I just want to thank Thermaltake for sending this out. No doubt they'll have this on display at EB Games. I know Thermaltake will be at EB Games and PAX Australia. So if you are interested in this case and you are heading to those and you can hold off, be sure to head out there, check it out. But yeah, I just want to thank them for sending this out. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for next time.